Bitcoin promised financial freedom, complete anonymity, escape from government control, liberation from banking surveillance. For over a decade, millions believed cryptocurrency would end monetary tyranny and restore individual financial sovereignty. They were wrong, catastrophically wrong. Cryptocurrency didn't destroy the surveillance state, it perfected it. What began as a rebellion against financial control has become the most sophisticated monetary tracking system ever created. Every transaction recorded forever. Every wallet address mapped. Every digital penny traced from creation to spending. The very technology that promised to free humanity from financial surveillance has delivered them into digital prison where every economic action is monitored, recorded, and controlled by the same institutions cryptocurrency was designed to replace. Today, over $2.3 trillion flows through cryptocurrency markets. Major corporations hold Bitcoin on balance sheets. Investment banks trade digital assets. Central banks develop digital currencies. And every transaction creates permanent records that make traditional banking surveillance look primitive by comparison. The transformation is complete. Cryptocurrency has evolved from anarchist tool to government weapon, from liberation technology to control mechanism, from financial freedom to digital enslavement. And the final phase, central bank digital currencies will use cryptocurrency infrastructure to implement total financial surveillance. That would have been impossible before digital money existed. This is the story of history's greatest financial bait-and-switch. How the promise of monetary freedom created the tools for absolute monetary control. The original Bitcoin promise, anonymous digital cash. When Satoshi Nakamoto published the Bitcoin white paper in 2008. The promise was revolutionary. A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. The timing was perfect. The 2008 financial crisis had revealed the corruption and fragility of traditional banking. People were desperate for alternatives to institutions that had destroyed the global economy through greed and incompetence. Bitcoin offered escape from the system entirely. The anonymity illusion, early Bitcoin advocates promoted it as anonymous digital cash. No banks, no identification requirements, no transaction monitoring. You could create wallets without providing personal information, send money anywhere in the world, and conduct financial transactions outside government control. The technical reality supported this belief. Bitcoin wallets were pseudonymous, identified by cryptographic addresses rather than real names. Transactions were recorded on a public ledger, but wallet ownership wasn't linked to real-world identities unless users chose to reveal themselves. This apparent anonymity attracted privacy advocates, libertarians, and anyone seeking to escape financial surveillance. Bitcoin became the currency of Silk Road, WikiLeaks donations, and international remittances that bypass traditional banking restrictions. The decentralization promised Bitcoin's most revolutionary aspect was decentralization. Instead of central authorities controlling money creation and transaction validation, a distributed network of computers maintained the system through consensus algorithms. No single entity could shut down Bitcoin or control its operations. This decentralization appeared to solve the fundamental problem of monetary systems, the concentration of power in institutions that inevitably become corrupted. Bitcoin promised to democratize money itself, removing human authorities from monetary policy and replacing them with mathematical algorithms. The early community embraced this vision. Cryptocurrency conferences featured speakers declaring the end of central banking, the obsolescence of government currencies, and the dawn of truly free markets operating outside state control. The first crack: government infiltration and exchange regulation. The first signs that cryptocurrency's promise was an illusion appeared when governments began regulating exchanges, the platforms where people converted traditional currency into cryptocurrency. This regulation transformed anonymous digital cash into surveilled digital tokens. The exchange compliance trap. By 2013, major cryptocurrency exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, and Bitstamp faced increasing regulatory pressure. Governments demanded these platforms implement Know Your Customer (KYC) and anti-money laundering (AML) requirements identical to traditional banks. Exchange compliance destroyed cryptocurrency anonymity overnight. Users who wanted to buy or sell cryptocurrency for traditional currency had to provide government-issued identification, bank account information, and transaction history. The anonymous wallets became linked to real-world identities through exchange records. Government agencies could now track cryptocurrency flows by monitoring exchange activity. The FBI and IRS developed sophisticated blockchain analysis tools that trace transactions across the entire Bitcoin network. What appeared to be anonymous digital cash became the most transparent monetary system in history. The Coinbase Surveillance Partnership. Coinbase, the largest U.S. cryptocurrency exchange, became the primary government surveillance partner. By 2021, Coinbase was providing transaction data to over 100 government agencies, including the IRS, the FBI, and Foreign Intelligence Services. The company developed specialized surveillance tools for government clients. Coinbase Analytics maps cryptocurrency addresses to real identities, tracks transaction flows across multiple blockchain networks, and provides automated alerts when targeted individuals conduct transactions. This surveillance capability exceeds traditional banking monitoring. Banks track transactions within their own systems, but cryptocurrency surveillance tracks all transactions across all wallets and exchanges globally. Every Bitcoin transaction since 2009 remains permanently recorded and subject to analysis. The corporate capture. Wall Street takes control. The transformation of cryptocurrency from alternative currency to surveillance tool accelerated when traditional financial institutions began adopting digital assets. Corporate involvement legitimized cryptocurrency while destroying its original purpose. Tesla and the institutional adoption wave. In February 2021, Tesla announced it had purchased $1.5 billion in Bitcoin and would accept cryptocurrency for vehicle purchases. This corporate adoption triggered massive institutional investment from companies seeking inflation protection and investment returns. MicroStrategy, Square, and dozens of other corporations added Bitcoin to their balance sheets. Investment funds launched Bitcoin ETFs. Pension funds and university endowments allocated portions of their portfolios to cryptocurrency. The total corporate cryptocurrency holdings exceeded $100 billion by 2022. But corporate adoption required corporate compliance. Companies holding cryptocurrency must report holdings to regulators, track cost basis for tax purposes, and maintain detailed transaction records for auditing. Corporate cryptocurrency became as regulated and monitored as any other financial asset. The BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, the ultimate institutional capture, occurred in 2020 for when BlackRock launched a Bitcoin ETF, making cryptocurrency accessible to mainstream investors through traditional brokerage accounts. The ETF attracted over $20 billion in assets within months, becoming one of the most successful fund launches in history. But ETF Bitcoin isn't cryptocurrency as originally envisioned. Investors don't control private keys. They can't make direct transactions. They don't have access to the underlying Bitcoin, only to shares representing Bitcoin exposure. The ETF transformed cryptocurrency from alternative money into traditional financial product. BlackRock's success triggered additional ETF launches from Fidelity, Vanguard, and other major asset managers. These funds now control hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin, concentrating ownership among the same financial institutions cryptocurrency was designed to replace. The ultimate surveillance, blockchain analysis and AI tracking. Modern cryptocurrency surveillance capabilities exceed anything possible with traditional banking. Every transaction is permanently recorded, publicly visible, and subject to increasingly sophisticated analysis tools that can track money flows across the entire global network. Chainalysis and the surveillance industry. Companies like Chainalysis, Elliptic, and CipherTrace have built billion-dollar businesses, providing cryptocurrency surveillance tools to governments and corporations. These platforms can trace transactions across multiple blockchains, identify wallet owners, and predict future transaction patterns using artificial intelligence. The surveillance tools work by collecting data from exchanges, merchant processors, and blockchain analysis to build comprehensive profiles of cryptocurrency users. Even anonymous transactions become trackable when users eventually interact with regulated services. Advanced analysis can identify transaction patterns, timing correlations, and network effects that reveal wallet ownership even when users attempt to maintain anonymity. The pseudonymous nature of cryptocurrency addresses provides no real privacy against sophisticated surveillance tools. The Tornado Cash Case. The 2020 prosecution of Tornado Cash developers demonstrated how cryptocurrency surveillance operates in practice. Tornado Cash provided transaction mixing services designed to enhance cryptocurrency privacy by obscuring the connection between senders and receivers. The U.S. Treasury declared Tornado Cash a prohibited service and charged its developers with money laundering conspiracy. The case established that providing privacy tools for cryptocurrency transactions is itself considered criminal activity under current interpretations of financial regulations. The prosecution relied on comprehensive blockchain analysis that tracked transactions through mixing services, identified patterns that revealed user behavior, and connected anonymous transactions to real-world identities through exchange records and network analysis. The CBDC endgame, total financial control. Through digital currency, central bank digital currencies represent the final phase of the cryptocurrency trap. CBDCs use cryptocurrency technology to implement unprecedented financial surveillance and control mechanisms that would have been impossible before digital money infrastructure existed. Programmable money and spending control CBDCs. Enable programmable money digital currency that includes built-in rules about how, when, and where it can be spent. Central banks can program expiration dates that force spending rather than saving, geographic restrictions that prevent capital flight, and category limitations that control purchasing decisions. The Bank of England's CBDC research explores negative interest rates applied automatically to digital currency holdings, transaction fees that vary based on social credit scores, and spending restrictions based on carbon footprint calculations. These capabilities exist only because cryptocurrency technology makes programmable money technically feasible. CBDCs also enable real-time, economic data collection that makes traditional statistics obsolete. Central banks can monitor economic activity as it happens, adjust monetary policy instantly, and target specific demographics or regions with customized currency policies. The social credit integration. China's digital yuan integrates directly with the social credit system, enabling automatic enforcement of behavioral controls through financial restrictions. Citizens with low social credit scores face reduced access to digital currency, limited transaction capabilities, and exclusion from economic opportunities. The integration works because digital currency provides the technical infrastructure necessary for automated social control. Traditional cash cannot be programmed to refuse transactions based on social credit scores, but CBDCs can implement such restrictions automatically. Western CBDCs are being designed with similar capabilities disguised as consumer protection features. The Federal Reserve's research includes transaction monitoring for suspicious patterns, automatic tax collection, and spending restrictions for sanctioned individuals or entities. The privacy elimination CBDCs eliminate financial privacy completely. Every transaction is recorded in government databases with full identification of participants, timing, location, and purpose. Cash alternatives disappear as governments phase out physical currency in favor of digital replacements. The surveillance capabilities exceed anything possible with traditional banking because CBDCs operate on cryptocurrency infrastructure designed for transparency and permanent record keeping. Every digital penny becomes trackable from creation to spending across the entire economy. Unlike commercial bank surveillance that operates through multiple institutions with varying capabilities, CBDC surveillance operates through unified government systems with unlimited access to transaction data and no practical constraints on monitoring capabilities. The network effect, how cryptocurrency infrastructure enables financial tyranny. The cryptocurrency revolution created technical infrastructure that makes traditional financial surveillance obsolete. Blockchain networks, digital wallets, smart contracts, and automated transaction processing provide governments with surveillance and control capabilities that were impossible before cryptocurrency existed. The permanent record problem. Traditional banking creates transaction records that banks can modify, delete, or restrict access to based on legal requirements and customer preferences. Cryptocurrency creates permanent, immutable records that cannot be altered and remain publicly accessible forever. This permanence means that cryptocurrency surveillance data never expires. Transaction patterns from 2009 remain available for analysis in 2024. Future surveillance technology will be applied retroactively to historical transaction data, creating comprehensive financial profiles spanning decades. The global network transparency. Traditional banking operates through isolated national systems with limited cross-border transaction visibility. Cryptocurrency operates through global networks where all transactions are visible to all participants worldwide. This transparency enables international surveillance cooperation that bypasses traditional legal restrictions on information sharing. Governments can monitor foreign cryptocurrency transactions without formal agreements or legal processes because blockchain data is publicly accessible. The smart contract automation. Smart contracts enable automated enforcement of financial restrictions without human oversight or intervention. Sanctions, transaction limits, and spending controls can be implemented through code that executes automatically without requiring bank compliance or government enforcement. This automation makes financial control more comprehensive and immediate than anything possible through traditional banking regulation. Smart contracts can freeze assets, reverse transactions, and implement complex financial restrictions instantly across global networks. The cryptocurrency infrastructure has become the technical foundation for financial control systems that would have been impossible to implement through traditional banking technology. The tools designed for financial freedom are being used to construct the most sophisticated financial surveillance and control system in human history. The final phase, digital identity and the death of anonymous transactions. The cryptocurrency surveillance system is being integrated with digital identity systems that will eliminate any remaining possibility of anonymous financial transactions. Digital IDs linked to cryptocurrency wallets will create comprehensive surveillance of all economic activity. World Economic Forum initiatives promote digital identity systems that integrate cryptocurrency wallets, social media profiles, health records, and government databases into unified tracking systems. These digital IDs will be required for cryptocurrency transactions, eliminating any remaining anonymity. The infrastructure is nearly complete. Cryptocurrency exchanges require identity verification. Governments track blockchain transactions. Corporations monitor employee cryptocurrency use. And CBDCs will eliminate cash alternatives entirely. The promise of cryptocurrency was financial freedom through technological innovation. The reality is financial enslavement through the same technology. The trap is closing, and escape becomes more difficult as alternative systems are eliminated and surveillance capabilities expand. What began as liberation from financial control has become the mechanism for absolute financial control. The greatest irony in monetary history. Cryptocurrency created the technology necessary for total financial surveillance, while its users believed they were escaping. Surveillance entirely. The transformation is complete. Digital money has become digital prison, and the bars are made of blockchain.